Alright, it's UTMB week here over in Chamonix. It's Thursday morning. I'm up here in Flavour, the last checkpoint before runners of the UTMB and the CCC and the OCC head on their way down to Chamonix. We'll head back down there in a little while, but before that I want to rewind because I got in on Tuesday night just as the winners of the TDS were coming through, so let me show you some of that footage and we'll come back here again.
But make sure you come over to the finish line for 10:30 when we get ready to give a big warm welcome for our Italian runner Martina Valmosi.
So that was Tuesday night. Then I set my alarm clock early to try and catch some of the speedy Irish coming through early on Wednesday morning, and didn't catch all of them. There are so many Irish over here running this week, it's incredible. But I caught a few, so I headed down and met Owen Flynn coming through at about 4:30 a.m. A very happy man with a very strong sprint finish in him at the end. So just managed to squeeze past him, probably broke some UTMB rules by running up that final chute myself, but thankfully at 4:30 in the morning I don't think anybody really cared, but he was delighted, and here's what he had to say.
That was some warm day. I'm not going out running tomorrow.
I thought we could do a shakeout run.
Yeah. Highs, the first 51k was, I'd say, the best running of my life.
The usual. Same for
my God. And
first half went great.
During the night it was lovely, like a mid-section, alright. I thought the middle third was the hardest by far. Jesus Christ. And the Col de Triche at the end as well in the last one. Oh man, what a pain in the arse, like. Oh my God, it was like there was 3 humps, you know. The first hump, grand, fair enough, 400 meters, like, but oh my God, I'd say there was 1,100 meters climbing straight up, like, and it was very rocky at the top and stuff as well, you know. I can't believe I'm sitting here.
Yeah, you did it.
So that was Owen, as I say, happy with his finish. After that I met up with Kieran Croak. He had a good race, so let's see what he had to say.
It was hard, seriously hard. Hardest race I've done so far. It was like, I thought it was difficult, like doing the climb up the Passo de Prolognon or whatever, but I didn't know what hard was until I descended into Beaufort, and like I felt it in every inch of my body.
Did you ever think about pulling the plug, or were you always kind of know I'm going back out?
No, thought about pulling the plug quite a lot. Quite a lot. Probably the most I've ever thought about it in any races. Really. Like, it was just particularly tough in every aspect.
And what got you back out?
I told everybody else that I was thinking about pulling the plug, so I kind of wanted everyone to convince me not to.
And they did. Alright, well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Alright, I'm pushing for time here now. I'm pushing my luck, I guess, so I better turn around and head down to Chamonix and meet the guys. Hell of a view though. Alright, this is going to be a great recce run. La Flagère to the finish line, let's do it. So the runners will come across this open mountainside for a while, and a little bit of a climb up to the aid station before they get to start that final descent. Through a chink too wide comes through no wonder. All quiet now. This little tent is gonna see one hell of a lot of action over the next 3-4 days. I met a guy putting down the poles that marked the route. I'm sure they were already down. Maybe he was just confirming or throwing down a few extras, but it is well marked anyway. Can't go wrong from here to Chamonix. Well, never say never, right? So they'll have come down that section of fire road, and right here they'll be turning onto the trail. So what else went down yesterday? So we went out to the expo. That was absolutely humongous. Every outdoor sports brand you could possibly think of, and even more interestingly, all the ones you'd never heard of but are doing really good gear. This is a really nice, not technical but not very technical, so you can just roll down. So what else happened at the finish line yesterday? There was an Irish guy, sorry I've forgotten his name, I'll put it up here on the screen. He passed me by. He's living in Manchester and he was one of many to make the statement that the TDS was the hardest race he ever did. Let's have a listen to what he had to say at the end.
David Cummins, one of the boys in green. Good job, David.
That was definitely the toughest race of my life by far.
You're not the first man to say that.
Yeah, it was just absolutely mental. I'd say the first 60% went to plan. Everything was going well. Pacing, despite the weather. But we were going up 2,500 metres altitude with 29 degrees Celsius heat at 18% incline. It was just so hard to deal with. But I thought I did well, just going really slowly, and then we got to 80k, and I think everyone had the same experience as I did. We had this really tough downhill section to the drop bag point. It was like a never-ending wood, it just wouldn't come to an end. Yeah, I could never pull out. I don't think I could ever do that, but I did many times think, what's the point in all this? Why am I here? It's just stupid. Lowest point was probably trying to fall asleep on a curvature on the side of a country road at 3 in the morning last night with people running past me, knowing that it wouldn't happen. I was trying desperately to get in under 40 hours, and I think I made it by about a minute.
Oh, good man, that's brilliant, great job, well done. So what happened after that? What happened after that was the most incredible thing, and again it had somehow slipped by my radar, but thankfully I became aware of it long before they passed the finish line, and that was where 5 Irish people started the TDS 145 kilometers grueling event. So many people pulled out of that race. I think it was up in the, I'll have to check it, but when I heard yesterday it was up around 650. But these 5 people stuck together for the entire race, and they all finished strong and smiling, still friends.
Martin Hennessy, Kevin Dennehan, John Williams, Recce, we don't have matches like that, those guys, well done. Kerry and Cork,
Probably in 3 blocks, you know, first block, second block, third block.
And you ran the whole thing together. That's unreal.
well done to our big
So how was it for you?
ran together.
And you must have had the different ups and downs, highs and lows, different people struggling.
Sir Legion from Kerry.
But gee guys, I can't believe it's so hard, so long, and that you could all stick together for the whole thing.
I know.
But were there stomach issues? Were there fatigue issues? Were there
Everything, yeah.
moments where you practically, somebody must have been on the brink of pulling
All
it?
sorts going on. So we think of pulling out for some reason.
Yeah.
We're talked out of it.
If they were well enough, they weren't quitting, so they were.
Well, hold on, yeah. Did you start with a much bigger group? And this is a,
No,
you
this
know,
is it.
everybody started, finished.
Everyone finished together,
lads,
yeah.
that's fabulous.
And I don't think we had a crossword between any of us, so we didn't. No.
We had a lovely nap beside the trail last night as well.
Yeah. We all
Fantastic.
fell asleep in the trail for like 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
Somebody must have set an alarm clock though. You could still be there. Oh, lads, well done. Super story.
We all stick it out on the
How was your race?
It's the second hardest race I've ever done. Valderrama was the hardest. Owen was there at the end of Valderrama as well. But that TDS, that is a killer. And there's no let up. There is no let up.
So then, when all the finish line action that I had planned to get for the day had passed, I made my way back to the UTMB village where I'd seen a sign earlier in the day that Morton were going out for a 6k run at 5 p.m. so went back over to their stand, and sure enough, gathering of us took off, and this is what that looked like. Don't think there's anybody else around, so we'll see how this shapes up. Decided to go with my road shoes, so I hope we're not going up onto technical ground.
$160. That's this one with 40 grams.
So it was a very pleasant run. Got a goodie bag at the end of it. So I'm planning to go out for a long run tomorrow, so maybe I'll try some Mortons is my plan. Alright. Nice. Ah, Espace Picnic. Beautiful. Make no mistake, guys, this goes down as an official Recce run for when I'm finally out here myself running the race in earnest. Check this place out. Chalet La Floria. Beautiful. And the race comes right through the centre of it. That's what I was told, alright. Oh, and a view down to Chamonix. Alright, I've never ran any of these races, but I gotta believe that round about here, this is where it starts feeling very, very real. You're about to finish the race. You've made it. And into Chamonix we go. Cue the emotional music to the finish line. You've done it. The finish line of the UTMB. As I'm wont to say, put a fork in it. It's done. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Just heading down to catch the winner of the OCC. Winning female! Well done! Well done! David, first of the Irish, how was it out there today?
Tiring.
Yeah.
Amazing. Really amazing.
Yeah. How did you find it? Any problems? All good?
The last 6k.
That's down from La Flagere, all downhill, easy peasy, right?
Not with these.
The quads were trashed, were they? Oh.
Yeah, the last hill killed me.
But overall, your training was good, and you...
Training was good. I did the Eiger 51.
Okay, when was that?
5 weeks ago.
Okay.
The downhill and that was harder. And this was harder overall.
Really?
Longer, more elevation.
Excellent. All right, well, very well done.
Thanks. Thanks a million.
How was it?
Hard.
What was the hardest part?
The middle part. It's a big climb in the middle.
Well done, buddy.
We're creating some massive noise for the finishers of the OCC here while we wait for the Irish. I'll be hoarse by the time they come around. Finish line will be a disappointment for these guys. All right, Patrick, take it home, buddy.
Patrick, well done, buddy. I was waiting for you there. How'd you get on? Jesus, some sprint.
Down to that one,
yeah.
long road, I went 2 kilometres that way.
Oh, you went the wrong way.
You can't go wrong from here to Chamonix. Well, never say never, right?
How'd you find it overall?
Never again.
Never again. 2 kilometres the wrong direction. Never again, he said.
But that's 2 kilometres in the other way.
Oh, in 4 kilometres overall.
I did 62.
62 overall. It's only supposed to be 55.
55.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Go on.
I was alright, I fell about 20k.
Oh no.
Just for 3 end.
Yes.
But I kept going.
Kept going. Ah no, fair play.
Make
Long
it to the
day.
start, make it to the finish.
Go on. You did it.
Well done, man. Well done.
So now, how was your race? How was that?
It was amazing.
How was it now? Come on, how's the long?
It was tough. It was tougher than I expected it to be.
What was the toughest bit?
The hills, definitely the hills. I've done the distance before, but the hills, I mean, we just don't have hills like that.
Yeah. And but did you train for those hills?
I did, but until you start climbing them, you've got no idea how steep the gradient is here.
What about the heat? It was a hot day out there today.
I don't do too badly with the heat, so that was okay. Although I probably look like I do with the heat. So that side was okay, and I hydrated, but I had a bit of a stomach issue.
Yeah. And what about that final descent from La Flagère in the dark?
Yeah, I had to walk it, and normally downhills are my strongest point, but I was like, I'm not going to fall now.
Done. Yeah, I've come too far.
Now, then I won't make it to the end.
Very well done.
Thanks very much.
Very well
Cheers.
done.
Enjoy the rest of the week.
Alright, it starts the big day. Friday, UTMB kicks off at 6 p.m. this evening. The CCC will have started 10 minutes ago in Courmayeur. Oh God, is that what my hair looks like? I'm coming down to meet Owen Flynn, very famous Irishman. Hope to have a good chat with him. We're going to go for a run. Now, he's a 15-minute 5k man, so we'll see what he's going to do to me today. He's going for his long run though, so that should be good. But he said it was an hour and a half. I said, I thought you said you were going for a long run. So we had a bit of a laugh about that.
All right, guys, this is the start of the UTMB course. We're just heading out of Chamonix now, down towards Les Hooch. This is where the guys are going to be kicking off later on this evening at 6 p.m. That's when the big show starts. And speaking of which, I'm here with the man, as I mentioned earlier.
This is our little moment of glory, pretending that we're in the start of the UTMB. And it's a wonderful place. If anybody's watching and hasn't been here yet, get it on your bucket list, guys. It's, as I always say, it's the Olympic Games, the trail running. If you like your mountains, if you like your trails, make sure you book your ticket over to Chamonix at some stage.
I don't know if Owen noticed back there, but there was a bit of downhill as well. You could start trashing your quads early on if you wanted to.
Yeah, and interestingly, we saw Pablo Villa, the winner of the TDS 2019, who was taking the start line tonight in the big one. He was out for, I presume, a half an hour, 40-minute easy run before the big day. I think a lot of the top guys, they're going to come down here the same pace that we're just doing for our hour and a half run. So it's phenomenal when you think about it. They're still going to have, what, about 165, 166 kilometers. But I guarantee you, when we're watching later on, they'll be flying along these first couple of kilometers. And it will probably be to the detriment of probably half them. Because as we know, so many start off so well, so strongly. But you wake up on Saturday morning and half the big guns are gone. And I've no doubt the same will happen again today.
Big rock climbing wall on the way down. They'll come off the main road and onto the trail. We're heading back up. This man is killing me.
Town is getting ready for the main event. Now, I really enjoyed that run this morning with Owen. And I appreciate him taking me out as well, because, as I say, there's a 15-minute 5K'er and a sub 2:30 marathon runner. Wasn't quite expecting to do a run like that over here, but when the opportunity presents itself, never let it slip you by. Alright guys, as I said earlier, no conversation about the Irish at Chamonix, and particularly during the UTMB week, would be complete without talking to this man, Owen Flynn, Many will recognise his voice from comparing at the start and finish line. Owen, how does an Irishman find himself at the start of the UTMB, sending the thousands of athletes off?
Blagging their way to the start line, I think, Dave. No, I mean, as most of you know, I live over in Las Palmas in Gran Canaria for a long time now, about 11 or 12 years. And I started doing a couple of local races there, the Trans-Gran Canaria that a lot of people have run. And what happened was, it's a bit of a domino effect. The race director of Peñagolosa, who had the World Championships back in 2018, I think it was, the trail winning World Championships, he saw me at Trans-Gran Canaria and he said, "Owen, I need an English race announcer for the World Championships." So yeah, absolutely delighted to go. So I went and it was a great weekend. Spain dominated completely. They got the gold medal in the men's and in the women's, and it was a really, really great weekend. So everybody was on a high. And the people who own UTMB, the Paulettis, Michelle and Catherine, they were there. And Catherine came up to me halfway during the day and she said, "You with the smiley face, I want you on my race." I said, "You absolutely sure." So they got in touch, you know, exchanged emails, etc. And yeah, like within that was only my second year of being on the microphone and doing this kind of properly as a paid gig, so to speak. And yeah, came over in September, I think 2018. And just fell in love with the place. It was absolutely fantastic. The best trail runners in the world are here. More and more Irish are coming over as well. And sure, yeah, just look at those views. It's spectacular.
Absolutely. And have you met any Irish this week? I've met a few myself, but have you bumped into any Irish?
Well, I was running with you this morning. That was a good run, Dave. And yeah, we met Gavin Byrne this morning. He's, now rumour has it, he's doing some prep work for a big assault on UTMB next year. Paddy O'Leary is here as well. Hopefully he's going strong at the minute in CCC. Hopefully he'll have a good finish there today. Lots of different friends, you know. Everybody's here. It's great. About 85, I think, in total. So it's a great week.
And tell me this: you've got some good running pedigree yourself.
Well, yeah, I've been on the Irish mountain running team 10 times. 6 World Championships, 4 European Championships. Not too sure, David, there's going to be any more at this stage. I'm 42 years of age now. Maybe one more, who knows. But at the last one in Patagonia 2019, I kind of realised that I'm just crap at descending. I've just got no ability on sharp technical descents, and it really came true that day in the World Champs in Argentina in 2019.
And tell me this, as you said, you're on the microphone here now for a couple of years. Any standout moments?
Well, I tell you, every year there's something different. Yesterday, for example, we had 3 engagements within the space of about an hour. We had 3 people, just getting down on the knee. That's special. You nearly always have somebody proposing nearly every year. Any Irish flag that comes across the line, the decibel levels go up, up maybe higher than I would normally be allowed to do. But listen, I'm a proud Irish man, a proud Irish runner, and I'll always give the Irish flag a special welcome. And actually, when you mentioned was there one special moment, I'll tell you one. It wasn't here in Chamonix, but at Oman by UTMB, when Ian Keith took the win that night. That was, I think, 2019. Joe was the race director. I was on the microphone and Ian won it. So we had an Irishman running the whole thing, as in managing the whole event in the middle of the Omani desert. We had an Irishman doing the microphone and the speaker, and an Irish winner of the Oman by UTMB. So that was a real special moment, and that's probably something that will stick with me for a long, long time.
Well, Owen, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I loved our run earlier on. Go on,
Dave,
you're a busy man. Look after yourself.
Dave.
Take care. I've coincidentally caught Brian Buckley coming into town for the start of the UTMB here. Brian, how are you feeling?
Dave, how's it going? Bit nervous, but excited to get going. So
looking well. Training has gone well.
Not too bad. As always, would have liked to have done a bit more, but sure.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It is what it is, and we'll give it a good lash. So see how we get on.
And I'll be watching out for you. I'll be keeping a close eye. And
cheers, Dave.
It's not your first rodeo.
Yeah, sure. Look, at least I have last year under my belt, so I think I know where to kind of improve. So
what did you learn from last year that you think will help you this year?
Maybe a bit quicker in the aid stations, which we're normally good at, but Cormier is definitely one that we can kind of improve on. So
alright, well, the very best of luck to you.
Cheers there.
Go on, look after yourself out there.
Sound.
I've been here all week, but this is on a whole different level. It's like 10x. This is the route the runners are going to take out of Chamonix. You can see how busy it is already with half an hour to go. Alright, I've decided to move away from the start line. As you probably saw, it's pretty rammed up there. Rammed down here too, but hopefully I can find a spot from which to capture the race coming through. So, you remember this spot earlier on from my run with Owen Flynn? I've decided to come back down here. This is where all the runners will come off the road and onto the trail. We are, after all, trail runners. I've just bumped into these guys. Have we got some Irish around here? Alright, the runners are about 3 or 4 minutes away. We're going to catch them. Here we go. I found another. Alright. I'm just staying above this guy's pub, Beckett and Wild. So I found a good, solid, staunch Irish supporter here.
Yes.
Good man.
On the boys.
It's about 6:10 now. They're very close. I can hear some cheering from behind me. But I'm moving out of town to try and get a good spot. Hello, Killian! Good man, Brian! Go, go, go! There's Adolfo! Go, my friend! Boom! No, very happy with the spot I got there. Delighted to see some of my idols, Killian and Zach and the rest of them all going past that now, and to see Brian and Adolfo, and I'm sure there were a few more went past in that crowd. And just like that, the runners have all gone by and I'm walking through the woods on my own, huh? I didn't realize just how far out of town I had actually gone. It's a long, long way back in. I hope you appreciate the efforts I go to. The CCCers are still coming in. I can't believe it. I was down here yesterday talking to Owen Flynn, and all those wooden cabins for the UTMB village were here. And this morning they're all gone and they've been replaced by the Saturday market. Well, they talk about the fish that got away. I'm afraid the CCC was the UTMB race that got away. Most of the runners came in during the night, so I didn't catch them. There's one Irish guy, the Mark Quigley, left out on the course, so I might try and get up and see if I can catch him later on. I'm reminded of the film Castaway, where Tom Hanks held on to that one parcel that he delivered at the end. So Mark's going to be my one token CCC guy, hopefully. See how we get on. Mark is on his way. Go on, Muscat! Alright, I'm here with Mark Quigley, Irish finisher of the CCC 100 kilometers. Mark, how was your race out there?
Long, tough, amazing. Some great descriptions, but definitely the hardest thing I've ever done anyway.
Incredible. And what about the weather out there last night?
Yesterday morning with thunder, rain, that cleared up, got kind of cold in the evening, and then this morning it was just very hot, so with all conditions.
And did it all go to plan for you? Had your training done and you just...
Yeah, everything kind of worked out. I had a bit of an injury beforehand, but it didn't affect me, so I was delighted with that. I'm just happy to get it finished, really. That was the main goal.
Found it easy going up and over the hills?
Torture. I've never climbed anything like that. It's a bit hard to train for it in Ireland.
It is hard to train for it in Ireland.
Hill repeats and Karen Tool is about it.
And what about that final descent there from La Flagère? How did you find that?
Oh, that was soul destroying. I was trying to make cut-off times. It's hard when you're doing 12-minute kilometres and so. But anyway, got it done.
You got it done. At some point you knew you had it done, and you
got went across the line.
And you knew it was done. So great stuff, Mark. You nailed it. You got it done. Go get your gilet of pride, man.
Thank you.
Delighted to catch Mark there. Feel like Tom Hanks have delivered that final parcel. So now we just gotta wait for the UTM beers to come around. At the moment it's between Killian and Matthew Blanchard. Jim Walmsley was leading it, but he's dropped back now. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fast. Those guys aren't so far away either. So
who wants that Killian Jornet win?
Yesterday we had the first man in history to go under 10 hours for the CCC. And right now Killian Jornet is making his way down from La Flagère. He's going to be the first man in history to go under 20 hours for the UTMB.
On the way to making history.
Oh, funny story. When I was recording Mark Quigley earlier on, the only finisher that I managed to capture for the CCC, that old classic, when I thought I was pressing record, I was pressing stop, and when I thought I was pressing stop, I was pressing record. So I didn't get him at all. But thankfully he was still, and I never do this, I actually checked the footage, saw that I didn't get him, so I managed to capture that final interview that you saw there. Phew! Remember I caught up with Lonan's crew yesterday? Well, here they are at the finish line. Lonan is about 3 minutes out. First Irishman across the line. He's around 100th in first place at the moment.
Can we hear you? Louder!
Tell us how that journey was today.
Roller coaster, absolute roller coaster. I hoped to finish. That was all. I just hoped to finish it, and I had an awful first half. 85k, stomach pains, all sorts of issues. Everything was going wrong. After 85k, the second half, 65k, but I was flying, absolutely flying. Just everything just came together like an.
Come on, you were hoping, you had an idea in your head that if things went really well.
If things went really well, I was looking at 28:15, 28:30. I'm not sure exactly what it was.
But you know this is over 10,000 metres now, so what were you doing in advance of this to get yourself ready?
That's it, yeah, no, like we can't train in Ireland for it, we just can't, that's the thing. And I was out in Italy in June and did Lavaredo Ultra as well, and I suppose that was my prep for this.
So is there any point in the race today where you felt, oh man, I might have to pull from this?
Not really, no. I was sick, but I didn't get sick.
What's your secret if you are starting to have stomach issues? Have you any tips for what do you do?
Salt is good, and try not to eat for a while. Just take some fluids maybe, but definitely not eating. Just stop for about an hour and see what happens. Just let it settle, and if you're running, slow it down.
The last descent out of La Flagère, obviously you knew you had to finish in sight, but it's a fairly steep descent down from there. The quads must have been screaming. But you know, did you just let the brakes off? What did you do?
Completely. Yeah, I had been sick on the ascent, and about 10 or 12 people passed me. So my plan was to try and get around the 100 place. So I just got a rush of blood to the head at the top of La Flagère and went for it and passed them all out. So happy days.
First Irishman, incredible.
Thanks very much.
Outstanding. Great job.
Thank you.
Boom, here comes Ian Keith. Ian Keith, well done. It's just gone 10 past 11 in the evening. My God. 6 o'clock yesterday evening you struck off. Tell us about your journey.
Well, that was my slowest one in a long time, which is the old age kicking in, because I was actually descending quite fluidly, which I wasn't last year. But the second climb was absolutely brutal. I suffered badly on it. Half the field overtook me. But the third climb I started coming back together a bit. But I think that's relative.
But does it all go to plan now? We'll say you're a fat-burning athlete. Did you just tip away?
Yeah, I hardly ate anything. I think I had about 6 pieces of watermelon in the aid stations. That was the only food I had.
In the entire journey?
And that's obviously very liquid food, if you know what I mean. No, I had a lot of liquids, but for taste, as opposed to anything else. But the big target for me here was to do well as I could in my age category, and the finish there was an unbelievable battle. I zipped into third about 2/3 of the way around.
And were you aware all the time of where you are in your age
No,
category?
only at Contamine did I get an update from Helen, my wife. And I just she told me I just got in front of the third place guy. I knew straight away who it was because I'd spotted him dying on the climb. And then there, I caught the second place guy coming into the last aid station. So I ran straight through, and he followed, and he literally followed me all the way down, except for the very last half of a small hill at the bottom, and he for some reason he stopped there. So
and you kept moving.
Oh my God! I powered it through.
Buried yourself.
Absolutely, I could see 2 head torches behind. As it turns out, he wasn't one of them. But I knew the third place guy was pretty close, so I only had a 9-minute margin in him, as far as I knew, leaving the last aid station, which is nothing. So he's been busting a gut to try and catch us as well. So it's for the old boys. There's been some fairly intense racing out there.
Absolutely. So tell me that now. The descent from Le Flagère. Were you really now? You knew you were. You had to bury yourself. You knew where you were.
Well, because he was right behind me, I actually backed off a bit. Because my thinking was I'd caught him, and just before Flagère. And I slightly outclimbed him up to the aid station of Flagère. So I was thinking, I'll take it easy on the down, and it's a slight incline coming into town. So if he continues to follow me, I'll just go for it there.
But was there any point in the race where you felt, maybe this isn't going my way?
Oh yeah, the second climb. It's a brutal climb, but I tend to get altitude sickness on the second climb for some reason, not the first, the second. Yeah. So,
and tell me this. With the fat burning approach, do you have any stomach issues throughout the entire race?
No, which is great.
Yeah, phenomenal.
That's the big advantage.
I would say, was there any high point in the race where you kind of felt, I'm rolling here, this is right in my comfort zone?
Finish line was the high point, because I knew I had it that second place. And I was in fourth place most of the day, 2/3 of the day. So to grab second, geez.
Phenomenal. But such a strong field out there as well today. I think you did phenomenally well.
It is a strong.
Great to catch up with your friend.
Thanks.
And look after yourself.
My pleasure.
Yeah, you get to rest and recover now.
Well done. Take it home. Well, it's Sunday morning. Final day of the UTMB. These are the guys and girls who've had to spend a full second night out on the hills. Really nice to be able to catch Lonan and Ian last night coming in for the Irish, and there were more came in overnight. John Mulligan, Yvonne Naughton and some others. So this seems to be like a sneaky back route up to La Floria. La Floria is the last cafe that they pass on the mountain as they come down into Chamonix. So I just passed a group of people there who were running down pretty quick. Now I could be completely wrong, but maybe they saw their runner there, and then you come down this trail which is free of runners and make your way back into Chamonix to see them twice. Maybe. As I was heading home last night, I bumped into Mark Quigley. Remember my Tom Hanks Castaway package? That one man that I caught at the end of the CCC, and he was in flying form. He was out with his partner Louise and their friends having a few drinks. And yes, as expected, this route has brought me up onto the UTMB path. Well done. Great running to finish. Take it home, my friend. Can't leave it on the course. Dead right. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. If you remember the picture that I put up yesterday when I met Brian and Mark before the UTMB, sorry, Friday I mean. Here's Mark in that final descent from La Floria to Chamonix, and he seems to be crushing it. He's smiling anyway.
Well, I don't know about crushing it, but I'm a very one happy man coming into the finish. It's been it's been an epic couple of days. The weather's been great. But God, the climbing. Brian didn't tell me how much climbing there was.
All right, here's what's going to happen, because I don't want to influence your race. You run on down to Chamonix and I'm going to catch you down there, my friend. All right, go. Oh, what luck, you see? But yes, I don't want to make him run faster or slower than he might otherwise do, and I don't want to be accused of maybe pacing somebody in. So we got to get back there. He's moving, he's in super form, so let's do that little trick that I just learned. There's an iconic picture of Mark as well. He did the Gaeltacht Musgree a couple of years ago, which is a 75-kilometre ultra in Ireland, but it was during an unbelievable storm and the fields were completely flooded. I went into a submerged dike myself and got completely drowned, but there's a great picture of Mark standing in a field that his feet should be on the ground, but he's waist deep in water. Maybe if I find it, I'll throw it up here. All right, let's get down. So fresh, unreal. Hold on, Mark! Come on, come on! All right, I'm here at the finish line with Mark. He's just finished the UTMB. You saw the footage there of him coming in, a complete chance meeting. Mark, you're not an Irishman. Can I start with, what's your Irish heritage?
My Irish heritage is my mother, born and bred in Kenmare, and my uncle John O'Hare, all from Kenmare.
Good man.
And I've been going all my life, so I'm as good as an Irishman.
All right, we'll give you that.
Yeah.
And the most important question, how's that race been for you there?
Oh, epic, frustrating, loads of climbing, lots of serious climbing, vertical climbing, and lots of descending. So my legs are trashed, and I underestimated it, to be fair.
Was there any point at which you said, I'm done, I'm really cooked here now? Or did you always feel strong enough to keep going on?
I was always strong enough, but I hit a very low point last night. There's 3 final climbs before the end of the race. The first one was up through a forest. It was a narrow gully of rocks and rubble and roots, and it just went on and on and on in pitch darkness. And I was losing the will to live.
And you seem to have an awful kick there at the end. Were you holding back?
I was sick of people overtaking me coming down the last descent. I'm useless at descending. It's like driving Miss Daisy. And I thought, you know what? I've worked hard this week. Sub 40 times, not the best time, but I'm 57. And I thought, no one else is overtaking me. I'm going to sprint down this hill, injury or not, and get into town.
Super strong finish, super strong race. Mark, congratulations today. You are an Irishman.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, so the way it's going to unfold here this morning is we're going to be awarding third place across every single age category, starting from the youngest, going all the way through the most experienced, and this is the copyright phrase by Ludo, the most experienced, instead of saying the oldest.
Catégorie 50-54, deuxième place représentant l'Irlande en 29h08-40, Ewan Case.
how did it feel to be up on stage with all those?
It's fantastic.
So having just seen Ian Keith accept his second place age category award, I've now come back down to the line here to see Stephen Brennan, last Irishman still out in the UTMB course. He looks like he's enjoyed every minute of it. Oh, good man, Stephen. Well done, well done. I'm here with Stephen Brennan. He's just finished the UTMB. Stephen, you made it look easy. What was it like out there?
Well, it was fairly easy, yeah. No, it was amazing. It was just amazing. Like you get into a rhythm, like these very long climbs and descents. The descents are murder. They really are, the murder.
But I was watching you on the social media. You were smiling, you were taking naps, you just seemed to be enjoying yourself. Where was the struggle?
Yesterday afternoon and this afternoon, the heat. You know, that was the struggle. You know, but the rest of it was grand now. It really was grand.
And did you have any stomach issues or any foot issues, any major issues that you thought might stop your forward progress?
I felt a bit dodgy this afternoon, but I think it was just I've had too many caffeine gels.
And you've been over here now for a good few weeks. Do you think that's really helped your ability to get around the course? I met a few people who said that they came out a couple of weeks early and it really helped their conditioning at the altitude and on the hills. We just don't get them back home, sure we don't?
No, we don't, but I mean, to be honest, you know, I'm really delighted with this result because I've been threatening to have a good result for a few years, and I think one of the major responsibilities for that is Sarah. You know,
hats off to Sarah. And tell me this, did you have a plan? Were you like tracking to certain timelines?
But actually, the real plan was to just build up a cushion, and you know, Caroline was responsible for telling me what my cushion was, and you know, but I wasn't really under any pressure.
And at any stage now there, as you were coming down through La Flagère and on down to the main road, did it start to get real that this was happening? Did you get a welling up inside, or has it just been?
You know, I got that feeling a few days before the race when I came to Chamonix. Like you look up at La Flagère and or you come down here and there's loads of people around. It feels like Colosseum or something. Like, you know, like ordinary people don't get to participate in stuff like this, you know. I mean, it's like you're in Wembley Stadium or something, you run onto the pitch and, you know. So,
Brennan, you're an extraordinary man today. Well done, you just completed the UTMB. Oh! There you go, captured for eternity. All right, I've coincidentally caught John Mulligan here. He came in the middle of the night. He was too fast for me. John, what was your final time?
Final time was 33, all the threes.
All the threes.
Yeah.
Were you happy with that? Was that the plan?
You know, the plan was, I haven't done it before, and the plan was worst case scenario 32, best case scenario 30. But to be honest with you now, Dave, I copped on very quick that I was probably being a little bit kind of, you know, a bit too pushy with the time. It's a tough course. I think a lot of it is actually not all that runnable, you know, and the ascents, I think they're nearly 30% in cases, and that's, you know, that's walking zone, you know.
Tell me this, had you been out here to do some recce's?
No. So all my recce's were done on Mulligan and Jouse and the Ailing Abyss. And so I was training, what was I doing? I was doing about 15 hours a week, but I kind of had a different routine this year. I only did 3 training runs a week, and then I did 2 turbo sessions. So I was doing 3, 5 and 6 hour runs. That's what I was doing every week. And Saturday, Sunday, back to back. Probably not enough,
Now, you were saying fairly quickly you discovered it was a tougher course than you thought. Where was it that you kind of felt, this is going to be a hard slog?
Yeah, do you know, I got really lucky in terms of, for the first half of the race, you know, I wasn't a happy bunny. I rolled my ankle in the about 30k in, so that wasn't good. I had a couple of blisters, and like I said, you know, you can use these to kind of get in on you, and you're kind of like, all of a sudden you're kind of hoping the weather's going to get bad, you know, and maybe they'll pull the bloody race or something, you know. But like that's the end result of being down about where you are. So I think I managed to get through that first half of the race, and then I got all those issues out of my head.
Because at what point in the race do you think things did turn and you suddenly felt all right?
I think about halfway. I think about halfway, and the last quarter, I started then to kind of like think about the last quarter of the race, and then I was thinking, okay, well look, you know what? I'm in good shape here. Like, the weather is really good. I feel good. I trained well. My legs were not tired. So, at the last quarter, I just went for it. Yeah, I was
the
like,
brakes off.
I got to Chamonix, and I said, right, let's go with the wind. You know, I mean, you're on your way. You know, and there's the last sip of Coke up in Recce, and you know, go. You know.
And you were here in the middle of the night. How was the finish for you?
Look, at 3 o'clock in the morning, there's not too many knocking around. But Kieran was here. Kieran Croke was here, and he got a video in. And he gave me a flag around the corner there, and I was carrying it across. And it was great. It was a good buzz. Now it was a good buzz.
Well, listen, John, congratulations.
Thank you.
Fantastic result.
Thank you.
And
I'm happy.
Well, you should be happy. Great job. Well done.
All right, now then, the top 10 women and men for the UTMB 2022, 170 kilometers, 10,000 meters of vertical gain.
Les ovations pour Monsieur Zach Miller! Quatrième place pour Jim
From the United States of America, your 2022 UTMB champion, Katie Shine.
À la première place chez les hommes, représentant l'Espagne, en 19h49-30 pour la team normale. 4e victoire sur l'UTMB. On l'appelle le patron du trail mondial, tant il est à l'aise sur tous les formats. Il est avec nous aujourd'hui. Première place pour Monsieur Kylian Jornet.
Your 2022 UTMB champions.
Claire doing her best to get in for a photo with Killian. Just proving a little bit too tricky. Alright guys, so that's it. End of the UTMB week here in Chamonix, and as you can see, they're dismantling the whole stage for another year. What a week it's been, highs and lows. More highs than lows, but as always in an event of this size, there were a number of disappointments. It was great to meet so many of the Irish out here. Over 80 Irish came out to run the races this year. I didn't get to meet all of them, but I certainly got to meet as many as I possibly could. It was great to meet them here in this very area, the finish line, as they came under the arch of the UTMB, having run the TDS, the OCC, the UTMB, and Mark Quigley, the only man I managed to catch at the end of the CCC. As anybody who partakes in the sport knows, it can be very unpredictable. You can be as fit and as well prepared as you can possibly be, but sometimes out there 20, 30, 40, 50 miles into a trail run, it can go horribly wrong for no real reason. Most of the people I spoke to this week had issues with stomach. I'd like to thank everybody who took the time to come over and talk to me, or allow me to come over and talk to them. It was incredible to be here to witness Kylian Jornet do what many thought was impossible, the sub 20-hour UTMB. That man is truly a phenomenon. And Matthew Blanchard, not too far behind him at all, 5 minutes, also breaking the sub 20 hours. Katie Scheid winning the UTMB for the women was another beautiful moment to witness. So happy, so joyous. So no, guys, it's been great. I've got my own ultramarathon to complete now. Got to try and edit all this into something enjoyable. But if you're watching this right now, then I guess I've already done it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. It was great for me to be over here and capturing all the Irish. I wish I could have been running myself, but that day will come too. All right, guys, over and out for now.
There we go. Okay.
Well, now it's recording.
I've got